the Filthy Hands Society, legislative responses to union corruption. Corruption within labor unions is not just a betrayal of trust, it's a direct attack on the workers they claim to protect. Legislative measures have always been the first line of defense against corruption, but are they enough? Today, we explore the history, the gaps, and the actions we must take to ensure transparency and accountability in unions across the country. One historical legislative responses in the late 1950s, public outrage over rampant union corruption led to the passage of the Landrum-Griffin Act, also known as the Labor Management Reporting and Disclosure Act of 1959. This landmark legislation aimed to protect union members from exploitation by mandating financial transparency, fair elections, and safeguards against unethical leadership practices. Example: the Act introduced Union Member Bill of Rights, requiring annual financial reporting and preventing intimidation tactics during elections. While a step forward, its enforcement remains inconsistent and its scope limited. Two modern legislative gaps. Over 60 years later, cracks have formed in the foundation of this legislation. Corrupt practices have evolved, exploiting these loopholes. Today, enforcement agencies like the Department of Labor and the National Labor Relations Board face dwindling resources and limited authority, leaving many workers vulnerable. Example: unions like Local 501, which are not recognized as hiring halls, still find ways to levy unfair fees and assessments, exploiting their members under the guise of representation. Call out: the current legislative framework lacks teeth when it comes to addressing modern tactics like misappropriation of funds, membership restrictions, and collusion with management. 3. Call for reform. It's time to bring labor laws into the 21st century. Workers deserve a new wave of protections, laws that demand greater financial transparency, harsher penalties for fraud, and direct oversight by independent bodies to hold unions accountable. Suggested reforms: mandatory third-party audits of union finances, stricter penalties for non-compliance, including criminal charges for egregious violations, enhanced whistleblower protections to shield those who expose corruption. 4. Case studies. The real cost of corruption is measured in lost livelihoods, broken trust, and stolen futures. Let's revisit some of the stories we've covered before. Stacey Shaw embezzled $2 million from her union's credit union, leaving workers and retirees in financial ruin. In Local 501, members were charged illegal fees, draining their earnings while leadership evaded accountability. These examples underscore why reform is not optional, it is urgent. Advocacy action plan laws are only as effective as the people willing to uphold them. That's where you come in. Here's how you can take action today. 1. Contact legislators. Reach out to your local, state, and federal representatives to advocate for stronger labor laws. Use clear, concise language to highlight issues like corruption, lack of accountability, and the need for reform. 2. Reach out to oversight agencies. Share your concerns with the Department of Labor, National Labor Relations Board, or the Department of Justice. Request investigations into specific unions or advocate for enhanced enforcement of existing laws. 3. Engage with advocacy groups. Partner with organizations such as the National Right to Work Foundation, or the Center for Union Facts to amplify your message. We understand that taking the first step can be intimidating, so we've included example phone scripts and letter outlines in this presentation to help you get started. Optional templates section. We've prepared simple templates for you to use when reaching out to legislators, agencies, or advocacy groups. These templates are designed to make your voice heard effectively and respectfully. Example: phone script. Highlight talking points to guide your call. Hello, my name is Your Name, and I'm calling to request support for stronger labor laws to combat union corruption. Transparency and accountability are critical, and I urge representatives' name to take action. Thank you. Example: letter. Outline. Provide structure for addressing officials, key points to include, and a closing call to action. These examples will help you advocate confidently. Let your voice be part of the change. 6. Closing. The fight against union corruption is a fight for fairness, integrity, and justice. It's not just about laws, it's about workers, families, and the future of labor in America. The Filthy Hands Society is committed to this cause, but real change requires all of us to stand together. Join us. Contact your representatives, hold unions accountable, and ensure that the rights of workers remain protected. Together, we can build a stronger, fairer future.